I started posting on LinkedIn as a fresh SDR with zero experience. People said I wasn't qualified, wasn't gonna make it, and now I run a 7-figure business. And here's how you should start documenting today as a sales rep or as a founder. So let me break down exactly how documenting my journey changed everything. Let's get to number 1, which is the experience myth. So most people don't want to create content until they're experts. This is something I learned from Gary Vee. If you don't know Gary Vee, he's the one who really started document your journey, even if you don't have all the experience yet. When I met him, I asked him, how can I start sharing my journey as a 24-year-old? I'm just starting out my sales career. I want to grow and do speaking on stages and grow a business, but I haven't done those things yet. And he said, everyone has the expertise and they have a perspective that most people don't, because you have to focus on what you're doing today, because that perspective is the unique one. So I made the decision to solely focus on being a sales development rep, a person who does cold calling, cold emailing, LinkedIn social selling. That's the only thing I talked about. I didn't talk about anything else because I wasn't experiencing that. And that's what led to more people following me, and it was more relevant to the audience I was speaking to. People want to hear from your actual experiences. And so from those experiences, it can help you build your brand on LinkedIn and help me build my brand on LinkedIn. And from building a brand on LinkedIn, I learned exactly how to create content, how to expand it. And this is exactly why you should start with your fresh perspective, because that's what's really going to matter to people. And you have to even dive deeper into that, is go over what are the current challenges that you're going through. Like every single week as a founder, I would write down, this is what I'm going through this week. Bad client call. I got cooked on that cold call intro. I tried to handle that objection. That did not work at all. Everyone goes through challenges when really people just want to hear, what are you going through that I'm going through? And how do you set the right mindset, reframe around it so I can continue moving forward? And you are inspiration for people to take action. And that's what I did earlier on, and I still do today. People like hearing about what you're truly doing, not what only the highlight that you got. And so start taking action on that, start sharing that, so people can really understand who you are. And these real-time learnings attract other people. We learn so much in our experiences on our day-to-day that we sometimes feel like it's not relevant for others, when that is actually the relevant content that people want to hear, because they know it's something you are not making up. It's something that you're actually doing, which is the key in all of this. So relatability beats perfection. Now that you understand why experience isn't everything, let's talk about how to actually document your journey. And when I say experiences mean everything, like obviously your experiences documentation are important. I'm just saying you don't need 15 years of experience to post. As long as what you're doing inside of what you're doing today, that's what's gonna matter. And the thing is, most people try to teach without doing. So as I said earlier, so don't walk people through or regurgitate information just because that video went viral. Don't try to do the same thing because you didn't do it. Your audience will sniff that out very quickly and you'll become less credible or not credible at all. I was having a conversation with a potential client the other day and was like, I really want to make sure that we create good content that's credible, because if we don't do that, then people will see us uncredible, which is worse than them not knowing you at all. So the key here is you want to share your current journey, right? What are the wins? What did you do this week that was a massive win? So I would always talk about huge wins I see as an SDR and how that correlated to my goal. And you need to be doing that every single day. Also, within those wins and even losses, share the tools and techniques that you're doing. Hey, I did this technique, it didn't work out. Here's why it didn't work, right? So when you're creating content and just putting yourself out there and documenting your journey, you do want to figure out what other people are doing posting wise so you can see what's going on. So I would just emulate a lot of frameworks, emulate a lot of posts, and learn along the way on how to do certain things. And again, people want to see real results. So even if you can do in your documentation, I've seen a lot of people do this as of late. Here's where my failures were, here are the wins from that. And I mention that a lot because that is what the documentation is you need to be relevant with your transparency, and you want to make sure that someone walks away with a lesson. Your content should always help the audience. So don't shy away from opening up a little bit. People love seeing that part of us. And I've seen that in my own content when I open up a little bit, because people are sick of seeing the same highlights over and over again. They want to see something real. So we want to create that relatable content that makes people want to draw to you. So once you have your documentation strategy down, you need to decide where to share it. So this is the crucial part, is your platform approach, which is point number 3, because most people try to do multiple platforms at once. Until you have an established front, don't try to go multiple platforms. Focus on one platform. And the thing is, I did that back in 2017, 2018, doing 3 platforms at once: YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. Completely shut off Instagram, took myself down on YouTube, I ramped that down, and I solely focused on LinkedIn as my one platform. And the results went from there, right? Where now I have over 100,000 followers on LinkedIn, and I built a very strong platform there where anyone that I reach out to, I can have a conversation because they've heard of me before. That's why focusing on one platform and optimizing that is so critical. I did a post every single day to build that up. And so from 2016 until now, I've posted almost every single day because I wanted to understand the platform. I wanted to understand how it worked. And then now that I understand how it works, we are now starting to migrate in the cross-pollination stage. But that one platform approach is going to be key for you to start out because that's where you're going to start seeing the success. And that's where you're going to start seeing the momentum that you're looking for. Go deep and understand that one platform and go from there. But here's the thing though, when you start putting yourself out there, you're gonna face some criticism. So let me show you how to handle that, which this goes into handling critics. Most people let haters stop them. There's a quote is that you wanna ignore the people in the stands that are booing because they're not in the game. Content creation is a very hard game. If you're trying to do founder-led content, to creating content as a sales rep, to creating content as an executive. All these things are going to be very difficult to do because content is like working out. It's a continuous muscle that you have to build over time. You can get sore from it. It can be exhausting because like, what do I say today? It's not easy. And that's why it's important to ignore the haters because most of the time they don't know what they're talking about. Now, there to a degree, there are constructive criticism that people will give. I don't see that as being a hater. These are people just giving their thoughts or disagreeing with you. And then now you can go back and forth. But you all know when a troll is pulling up and being like, yo, this is not it. So what you want to do here is you want to focus on your audience and keep sharing your expertise and your journey despite the criticism. People are gonna hate regardless of what you do. If you don't post or do post, they're gonna hate on you. So at the end of the day, ignore that and move forward and embrace that you're sharing good stuff with your audience. There will be, typically for most people, if you stay consistent, and I've seen this over the past 8 years in creating content, you're gonna see more positive feedback than negative feedback. And the thing is, it's gonna be very hard for people to hate on you if you're documenting your journey like I was. I was just sharing what was actually happening. So there was really no way to hate on me because like, this is what I experience every single day. So I wasn't reaching. I wasn't like, here's a new concept. I'm like, this is what I do. If people hate on you for that, they're just not your people. Pay attention to this constructive feedback, but don't pay attention to the haters. And then break down constructive feedback to figure out how you can improve your content and get better. It's real-time data. So growth comes from being consistent and ignoring those haters. Now that you know how to handle the noise, here's how to turn your documentation into real opportunities. Number 5, which is leveraging your journey. So most people don't see the long-term value in documenting because they're trying to get instant results. They're like, well, I posted for a week, I saw nothing. Well, of course not. This is a free platform that you don't have to pay anything for. Sure, you can run some thought leadership ads, but you don't need to pay to get started. There's no entry fee. So of course the competition is gonna be harder. Of course the competition is gonna be more fierce, but you have to play the long term. I told myself, I'm gonna stay consistent posting content for 10 years. And if I do that, something good will happen at some point. Someone's gonna end up liking what I have to say. So if you look at things in a decade window or even a 5-year window, it makes your life a lot easier. If you're looking at this and like, if this doesn't work in a month, I'm out. Well, obviously it's probably not gonna work because you're being so like, I have to make this work within a month. Just say, hey, a decade of work, it should lead into the results you're looking for. So the goal here is you want to build while learning. And that's how I started creating content. I was like, okay, I'm learning exactly what to do here. I know how to go about it. And so I learned how to do different hooks. I learned how to get in front of the right people with the right messaging. I learned how to optimize certain posts, etc. So I just learned how over time. Now things have changed as of right now, right? If you look at posts, 750 to 1,000 characters work really well. Right now, as I make this video, LinkedIn just came out their vertical video feed. So vertical videos work really well under less than 120 seconds. I've also identified that images, documents work really well. Not carousels, but the documents, those work really well. What I've learned, but you cannot learn anything if you're not willing to take the action and see this in a long-term thing. And the goal is, right, this is gonna help you build something in the future. This has helped me build a 7-figure business. This has allowed me to connect with some of my closest friends. This has allowed me to build a strong network whenever I need advice on something and I'm lost. They're a text message, a message on LinkedIn away. There are people willing to help because they see you out there. They see you getting after it. So they're more inclined to help you. And so if you're ready to start your documentation journey, stop waiting to be qualified enough. Start documenting your journey today. Look, if I started when I was 23 years old from Atlanta, and I was able to grow it into something that has allowed me to build an incredible business, live a great lifestyle, do amazing things in the world. So if you found this to be valuable, hit like, subscribe for more content creation tips from me, and we'll see you on the next one.